Alright, folks, so I just finished very recently, like an hour or two ago, the Sadistic challenge on Doom the Dark Ages, and they weren't lying with the name. It is absolutely insane. So I thought I'd just put together like a little video, sort of going over a couple tips, just ways to make the mode easier, some things that you might not have caught that should make the experience not as horrific for you. Obviously, the experience is still going to be horrific either way, but these things, if you try to incorporate them into the way you play, should hopefully help out a little bit. And the first point is you need to be okay with failure. Like, this is designed to be the hardest challenge in Doom the Dark Ages, and I think they knocked it out of the park. It is insane. It is very difficult, and you're just not going to get it on your first try. I mean, the time constraint is insane. You have to play around the clock, and they're throwing so much at you. It is obscenely difficult, so you need to be okay with just not getting it on your first try, and maybe not even in your first 10 tries. Like, this is one of the hardest challenges I've ever overcome in a video game. So you really do need to be okay with just failing a lot and not being very good at the experience. Like, go into this and just be ready to be humbled, because it is very, very hard. Now, the second point is going to be customize the experience. This is one that I don't think a lot of people are going to think of, but I definitely think it's going to help. I think, like, what I mean by customize is change the music. There's a feature in the mode where you can change the music to whatever you want, and that is super duper important, because the thing is, like, going through the same motions over and over and over again with the same music playing, no matter how much you might like a certain track, you're gonna get sick of it eventually. So I definitely think customize, the music going on, change it. Me personally, I tried going like Unholy Siege all the way, but eventually I got sick of it, and I thought I'd put on Apotheosis, and I was like, oh, I don't think I've heard this one, and it blew my mind, and it got my head moving, and it got me like thinking a lot more. And I actually do think it helped the experience. So, yeah, change the music. Find something that works for you. Don't just go with the track that you think you like the most, because it'll get to you. Point 3: stick to one arena. I think the first, or the arena that you land on that you like the most, is absolutely the one that you should do, because the thing with the arenas in this mode is they're all sort of different. Village of Kaleem, which is the one you're seeing now, is very flat. It's very open. There's a lot of space to move around. City of Raoul is a bit more layered. There's there's a high spot and there's a low spot. And Harbor of Souls is kind of sloped. So find the arena that works best, like, for you, and that you think you can learn best, and stick with it. Don't be like hopping from arena to arena, because you'll get confused on the spawns, and it'll just make the experience unnecessarily hard. Point 4: find your favorite weapon, but be ready to switch it when necessary. As you can see with the gameplay, I'm over here using the super shotgun, because it's just my favorite weapon in the game. But blind allegiance to a certain weapon can probably get you killed, because, like, let's say you're on the final Cyber Demon in round 5, right, and you run out of ammo. Well, then what? You gotta sit there and sift through, like, oh, what weapon do I want to use? You shouldn't be doing that. You should just have a backup weapon that you like and you can easily toggle to, and all that lovely stuff, because only trying to stick to one weapon, it will hurt your experience. And that goes for the main game as well, but specifically this mode, super helpful tip: try to use more than one weapon. It'll help out massively in the long run, and I think it'll make you a better player as well. Point 5, this is one that I'm not demonstrating very well here, but hang back at the start of encounters. What I mean by that is, don't be in the middle of the map when a new round starts, because you'll just be in the middle of everything. Everything's just going to funnel into you directly instead of you funneling into it. So if you stick to the middle of the map, you allow the AI to control the experience instead of you, and that is just not going to be helpful at all in the long run. So try to stay around the edges of the map, especially when a new round comes in, so you can assess what you're looking at, understand it, and come up with a game plan instead of having to adapt to everything that happens. This is especially useful with this mode because the spawns are random. Well, the spawns aren't random, but you'll be fighting the same thing round by round. Like round 1 will always have the same enemies, but they'll spawn differently. Like revenants might be farther or closer, which can be really, really annoying. So just try to hang back and figure out what you want to do. Like if a cosmic baron spawns right in front of you, deal with it instead of being in the middle and then everything just sort of comes to you. Like the flow just gets ruined. So hang back at the start of encounters. It's going to help you out massively. Point 6. This one is super important. Use shield charge on the bigger enemies. This doesn't apply to just like imp shield charge from getting fodder kills with the shield. I mean just like generally on the bigger dudes you want to be using shield charge whenever it's an option. Especially in the first good example is in the first encounter with the hunter. Obviously there's a lot of fodder around you, so say you clear out everything except the hunter and some fodder. The hunter will obviously he'll be the biggest threat, but if you can get a good parry on him and then shield charge into him, you will, because of the blast, the blast damage on the shield charge, you'll get rid of a lot of fodder, which is super helpful because one of the biggest time wastes in this mode is looking around for fodder like all the time. Especially if they get all scattered and spread out. It can be really, really annoying to lose time just trying to find fodder all around the map. So use shield charge against the bigger enemies. Even if it doesn't feel like it's doing anything, it is. It's getting rid of fodder really quickly as well. It's a very passive way to get rid of them, but it's very important. And point 7 is kind of the same thing, but deal with fodder very, very quickly. What I mean by that is, say you're running around the map and a group of zombies just spawns in front of you, immediately either shield charge, shield throw, combat shotgun to get some armor, just get rid of them, because at the end of the round they're going to be really, really frustrating because you're going to have to deal with like so many fodder at like one time, and you're running around the map trying to get them all, and sometimes you'll miss a shot and it'll really annoy you. So just get rid of the fodder as quickly as you possibly can. Don't worry too much about farming them for resources, because there's plenty of resources around the map, but obviously if you do get some like health or some armor or ammo off them, that's just a plus in my opinion. Point 8, here's a pretty big one. Avoid glory kills like the plague. In this mode, especially the sadistic difficulty, and if you're playing on Nightmare like I am, time is everything. And if you get locked into like a 2, 3, 4 second animation of sawing off like a Hell Knight's head when you could have just like bashed it, that is going to feel really annoying, and it doesn't do much else for you. It does keep you immune from damage, but as far as I'm aware, a lot of the normal executions do. So try not to get locked into a glory kill animation, because they will be a pretty big time sink, and they can be really, really frustrating to be low on the clock, or like you're wasting, you're at a certain time where like I'd be on the next round by now, and then you get locked into a glory kill animation. That will throw you off big time. So try to deal with, try to get just standard executions. I know it sounds really simple, but it will, like, you will come down to the seconds, like 2, 3, 4 seconds, 10 at the max, towards the end of the rounds here. So just try to save as much time as you can, and the best way to do that is to try to get standard executions as opposed to glory kills. And point 9, this is one that I think a lot of people will already know, but learn tech. Learn things like shield throw cancels and jump kills and lockdowns. Shield throw cancelling especially is very important for point 7, which is dealing with fodder quickly. When you throw the shield, you don't have to wait for it to come back to you. You can just hit L1 or L2, and the shield will immediately come back to you. This is something you learn in the campaign, but it's something that you really need to do in this mode. Like, I just showed an example of it there on screen. It's super duper important, so try to make use of that as much as you can. Jump kills. This is when like you jump or you fall off a slope and you get rid of a bunch of fodder. That also ties into point 7. That is super helpful, so be jumping whenever you can, but also don't jump so much to the point that you're like losing accuracy. And lockdowns, this is when, say you throw your shield at a mancubus, you hit it once and then you pull the shield out, that staggers the mancubus, so you can get another shot off on him without him just sniping you for half your health, which can be really, really annoying. So try to learn some of the cooler tech. Now I'm done with the more general standard tips, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to fast forward into my winning run, and then I'm going to go through the encounters, you know, arena by arena, and sort of give some general tips on specific rounds, because that is going to be the big difference maker in this mode, so stick around for that. Alright, here it is. This is the winning run that I got earlier. I'm going to go through all the different encounters as they come and just sort of give some general assistance on them, sort of go through my strategy. I like to farm these guys early just to get an imparted shield charge, and then I immediately try to blast Revenants, but the Baron spawned in front of me, so I just dealt with him as quickly as I could. The Revenants, you want to shield charge into them with the super shotgun and then just sort of blast them, and then you want to deal with the Hunter after you get rid of the Revenants, but the spawns in this specific encounter were really weird, so I took the Hunter out first and then I went for the Revenants, and now you just want to sort of farm the fodder, try to get some resources off them. I probably should have swapped to the combat shotgun to get some shield off them, but doesn't really matter. I got it done pretty quick there. I think it was about 45 seconds. Yeah, now Arena 2 is pretty annoying. You want to get rid of the Caco Demon as quickly as you can. I like to just dread miss and get him out of the way. And then the Arachnotrons, you want to run sort of towards them. Not while they're attacking, but whenever they're not really doing much. Hit them with the super shotgun to fry their shield, and then throw the shield at them. Maybe throw it at them again to lock them down if they're being like particularly annoying. And then you can just hit them with the super shotgun and they're gone. Whiplashes, they're just a pretty standard affair. Take your time with them, don't try to rush them. And there's round 2 complete. Round 3, this I think is the difference maker. I might do this differently to other people, but I'm not sure. What I like to do in Arena 3 is I try to hunt down the Acolyte as quickly as I can. More specifically, I try to just get rid of the clone. And then when the clone's dead, I try to get the 2 vagaries. I try to sort of kite the vagaries together. I didn't do it in this run because I'm a fool, but the way you want to do round 3 is kill the clone, kill the Acolyte clone, and then use the Ballistic Force crossbow. I just said the full legal name like a nerd, but use the crossbow after you've killed the Acolyte clone. That should get at least the 2 vagaries and the surviving Acolyte, and then you can just sort of run around and get everything else. I think it's just a Mancubus, a few Mancubus and some fodder should get it done pretty easy. I didn't handle this round 3 particularly well, but you know, it was the first win. Leave me alone. I've gotten about two wins as well. Like after this was really per. That's another thing. If you lock down the Acolyte with the shield, he becomes really easy to get rid of. And then the Mancubus, they're standard affair. You just take them out, nice and easy, not too bad. Round 4 coming up here. Again, you want to get rid of the Caco Demon as soon as you see it. You want to make him the first target. I don't recommend shield charging him, but again, try to lock him down with the shield and then dread miss. And then everything else is a very standard affair. It's Battle Knights mostly, and of course the Revenant leader. I would say prioritize the Revenant leader and then just like parry everything that comes towards you. It's much easier said than done, but I think that's the best way to deal with it. Try to get rid of the standard Pinky as quickly as you can. They can be super duper annoying, and of course the bigger shielded guys are really tough to deal with because you can't lock them down, so you can't really get in close for a melee. And they can bite you for a large chunk of health, so try to get rid of those fellas as quickly as you can. If you're following the strategy as I've laid it out, you should have a bit more time here, but I thankfully was able to clutch it up. What you want to do here is you want to immediately seek out the shield guys, try to farm some armor off them, because this is like the big encounter. You want to try to save a dread mace for one of the bigger guys, or 2 of them. Like if you can get them both together and get a good opportunity for the dread mace. But again, much easier said than done. And there's the Cyber Demon gone. The Acolyte, again, you want to just hunt down the clone, but because I'm pretty sure this is a leader, it's a fair bit harder. But again, if you're just able to lock them down, well, lock them down, not with the shield, but find them, don't let them get too far away, and then just blast them, you should be fine. Again, typical affair for the Arachnotrons. And not Vagary, the Komodo and the Cyber Demon, they'll go down. They're basically just it's almost like an Ornstein and Smo type affair if you ever played Dark Souls, but try to just deal with those as well as you can, and the encounter shouldn't be too bad as long as you're just on top of everything. And there it is. There's the win. As you're about to see, I got very excited. If I had my mic on, you would have heard me screaming at the top of my lungs in my empty house, but oh well. Anyway, I think I just go through here and show you that I did everything legit. Yeah, that is the guide for the Sadistic challenge in Doom the Dark Ages. Hopefully it helps someone out, and if it doesn't, well then, I had fun making this, so it is what it is. Thank you for watching if you got all the way through. Maybe leave a like, cheeky comment, maybe even hit the big red button. I don't know, do whatever you want, but as long as you enjoyed it, I don't really care. Yeah, see you later, chums.